Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction in Northwest's only rock and roll libertarian radio show. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Kurt Nelson.
That is correct, sir, yes.
My voice, the reason the beautiful Heather Nixon.
I'm mocking me. That he was.
She's mocking me, mocking her.
Yeah.
Nice. The double. Is that a
double mock?
That's a double two-sided mock.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Anyway, so I'm glad we had Marc Clair here at the Johnny Rocket.
He was
Launchpad.
awesome.
He's a cool guy.
What a great guy, man.
Yeah, linesofliberty.com. Make sure you check out that site. It's pretty badass.
You know, you sent me the link to the show that you were on. I got to go listen to more of those because he's clearly a very interesting guy. And
oh, yeah, he's cool as fuck.
out.
And what we do here on the fourth segment here on Johnny Rocket Launchpad is Rocket Fire!
Revisited.
Relaunched.
In your direction.
I do like relaunched. Rocket Fire relaunched.
Okay.
We can do that.
We're starting a thing right now.
Let's do it. Go ahead and you can do it.
Rocket Fire relaunched.
That's cool. We got effects on that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass, dude. Good job.
Thanks.
Bam! First question was, did Lincoln lead us through our greatest crisis or cause it?
Lincoln Logs got me through a lot of hard times when I was a kid. You know, when my parents were fighting and stuff, so I'd have to say yes.
Except for when you stepped on him.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shit
that wasn't
hurt.
good.
That notch
did
thing.
hurt.
Not as bad as Legos, but
No,
still.
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Well, and you could do the little boxes thing, you know, like it was,
Why?
it was pretty cool.
It was made out of real wood, but then they had the plastic roof.
Oh, right.
Why couldn't they made a wood roof?
Yeah, like it was a popsicle sticks kind of a thing or something.
Yeah.
Something wood.
It probably wouldn't be very sturdy, though, and it would probably break really easily. Because
I don't
that
know.
wood is that really, you know.
No, but the
And they're
Lincoln
using
Log-
cheap wood, but they got to keep costs down
Right.
because of crony capitalism or something. I'm just throwing terms out there right now. Probably
It's a moral hazard.
It's because of some political thing. It was probably a lobby.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs are like the most politically incorrect toy ever now. Not only are you killing trees, but you're making plastic out of oil.
And
Yeah,
why
right.
did they have to call them Lincoln Logs?
Yeah, right.
Like he fucking coined the phrase.
Fucking racist.
He's a bigot.
Okay, next
Fuck that guy.
question.
Question 2. Cost, network effects, and regulation can cause problems for Bitcoin. Of the three, which do you see as the biggest problem? What the fuck is so funny?
I'm gonna go with 2. That's my answer.
So, Kurt, so you think network effects are the reason
No,
that...
I just 2. That's all. 2
What
and
are
only
the
2.
What are the choices again?
Okay, here we go. Costs, network effects, and regulations can cause problems for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What do you think, Johnny? Come on.
I think it's regulations.
Okay. Why?
Because the government doesn't want any other currency than what we have. You know, you have to believe in the currency for it to exist. You know
well,
what I mean?
and that's something that has to gain momentum.
Right. I
you
mean,
know,
no one's going to...
If millions of other people will believe in it, then millions more will.
Right. But you have to have you have a small, select, elite group of people who are believing in Bitcoin.
Trying to get rolling.
Who believe in the value of it. And I
Right.
don't-
And they have to, and actually have to invest in it to give it value. So,
Totally. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I just think the whole thing's like made up. Kind of like Mark was saying, you know, like it's like, why don't you give me some real money for these fake things on the computer?
right. I'll hold on to your real money.
And I'm going to give you this magical money.
and you can put it in your virtual
It's
wallet.
magical.
Your virtual wallet.
Yeah.
I'm
love
going to
the
reach into my
magic money.
virtual ass and pull out my virtual wallet and give you some virtual money.
And then maybe I can get a virtual fucking item that I buy for.
Right.
Hey, why don't you take some of that fake currency that's magically created and send it my way, and I'm going to magically give you some fake shit that you ordered.
Right.
No,
You're
but-
going to love it. You're going to love it. It's great.
Yeah, but
it's great.
you can. I think there's some validity to Bitcoin. I think it's cool.
I agree
think-
with you.
I-
It's fun to joke about,
It's
but I
fun.
agree.
Yeah, it's hilarious, actually. But I think that regulations, if the government got involved, stomp on it immediately.
Well,
because-
and I think it's probably a red flag to the government because it seems to me that one of the things about it is that they're trying to keep it regulated.
Bitcoin itself doesn't want to be regulated.
Right. So the point is that's a huge red flag for the government to go, hey, okay, well, what are you hiding from us? You know what I mean?
Well, right.
And they're going to come in and
There's some things like with people like selling drugs online, and people are actually buying
this is that guy we were talking about on break, right?
the Silk Road.
Yeah.
thing. You could buy fucking anything you want with Bitcoin. You can go to illegal websites and buy
Heroin.
with Bitcoin, and it's not traceable to you.
You know what gets me about that though? Like, I don't know. I'm sure it was working. The guy went to prison, but somebody put some heroin in the mail? Like, I'm okay. I'll give you 30,000 bitcoins for some crack cocaine.
It could have been an FBI bust. I mean, they could have posed as a heroin user and bought it. And
Well, I
guy.
don't give delivery on that.
I think Bitcoin has its potential as a alternate currency. Regulations would stifle it, and the cost of possibly people implementing it. You know, like at a grocery store, not everyone's going to take Bitcoin. You know,
Well,
so
and there's all
you're
kinds
limited.
of people who don't use the internet.
And that too.
You know, so now all of a sudden they would, to even participate, they have to, like, what about the old people? They're not going to be able to do it.
All right, question 3. Where should the government draw the line with government surveillance?
Heather said old people can't do it. I'm sorry. What was the question again? Internet.
Where should we draw the line with government surveillance?
I absolutely 100% agree with Mark. It's step 1.
I believe in that whole system where if you have suspicion of somebody committing a crime, you go to the judge and you say, person A, he is suspected of doing something. Can I get a warrant?
I just did the same thing that Mark did, which is like, that is my gut instinct is to, yeah, fuck them. But yes, you're right.
A warrant.
With a warrant, if it's proper. I mean, we legit don't want terrorists in our country. The fact that they're using terrorism as a means to make meth busts is wrong.
All right.
And listening to phone calls,
they shouldn't be listening to phone calls.
without warrants
Right,
and all that
absolutely.
kind of shit.
Yeah. And again, I don't buy into the whole blanket warrant thing either.
Oh no.
You need a warrant. You just need to have a fucking warrant. If you have probable cause, you go to the judge, you go, hey, this is the guy. Can we look into his house? And the judge signs off. Fine. That individual warrants, no mass warrants, no group of warrants.
Legit probable cause, all that.
Legit probable cause.
Yep.
That is
Yep.
fucking great. Why can't we just stick to that?
Because of 9/11, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Terrorist and Homeland Security.
Right.
We need our homeland to be secure.
Right. Totally, dude. What would be the best policy on immigration in America?
The open border thing, the whole background check, you really can't. There's countries where there isn't the technology, there isn't criminal, they don't even have birth records, let alone criminal records, so you can't really track who they are. But if you register and come in and work and don't want to live off the system, then come on in.
I think if you're not a goddamn American, you ain't welcome. I'm totally kidding, of course.
You're a bigot.
Yeah, that's a good point, Heather. I that's true. I think it should be easier, but I would also be for some background checks and that kind of thing, but that's not always
Applicable.
Right. Like Mark said, if obviously he was joking, but if somebody's, walking toward the border with a rocket launcher, you're not going to let them in the country. But there's a little bit of validity to checking on somebody and...
Right. I don't think we should have completely open borders.
Right.
I believe I think our immigration system should be completely reformed. It should be completely streamlined. Boom, you want to come in, you're good. You don't have a criminal record. If you don't have one, it's not going to take you 4 years to come over here. It might take you
it's ridiculous.
maybe at the most a week.
And I would also be for keeping tabs on somebody for a little while.
Yeah, keeping tabs on them.
So that if you make a mistake and some kind of asshole comes in and fucks something up, you've at least got a little bit of background on somebody.
Absolutely.
Right,
So
and a lot of the people that the government brings over as asylees or refugees, they're fleeing for safety, political reasons, the special immigrants from Iraq and Afghanistan. Typically, the special immigrants are educated people. They have skills, they're doctors, translators, lawyers, scientists.
they've already been cleared too.
Right.
Mhm.
But the refugees and asylees that are fleeing, from war or political persecution, many of them, those are the low-skilled workers that Powell, spoke of. That's where I think it gets a little bit tricky. Yes, these people, safe haven and all that, but most of these people are illiterate. They don't read or write their own language, let alone speaking English. And those are the ones that end up on public assistance. They get on the emergency low-income housing. The trip over here was paid by a World Relief Agency that receives federal monies. So, and I don't know how much money that is in the big picture, but that could be a burden on society.
Question 5. Do video games make people violent? I think this is the most bullshit question I've ever asked on this show.
Why'd you ask it then, bro?
Well, the reason I'm asking it, because I thought maybe somebody would laugh when I asked it, but everyone's like, real fucking quiet. I'm like, this is fucking a bullshit question.
Like we're sitting in the library. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Johnny, I see some validity in
Yeah,
that.
really. Those video
It's a
games are
bullshit
bad.
question. No, it doesn't make you fucking violent.
Dude, on that note, I just recently found out, and stop me if we've already had this discussion, particularly on the air, but these kids are making bank playing these video games now. They're having tournaments where some, I shouldn't say kids, adults are getting paid $150,000 for winning a tournament of Call of Duty or some kind of third-person shooter game. It's a legit, like, there's Red Bull sponsored teams. And it's just like a sports, like
It's
fucking
a sports
football, dude.
It's cool. I think it's cool.
I think it's crazy. Personally, I mean, I don't think anybody should be stopped from that, but
No.
like personally, I'm just
I'm all for it, man. If they want to do it, I think it's cool.
I'm bad at video games.
Yeah, I think Marc Clair is absolutely correct. If someone is already twisted in the head, these video games could
Be a catalyst.
could further their fantasies, just like, someone who's, sexually demented or a pedophile looks at porn and, but ultimately they're going to do it anyway, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
6, do you believe that campaign finance and free speech are connected?
As far as the First Amendment, free speech, like the government is that what do you think that campaign that I should have the right to do whatever I want
with your money? So if you are a business and if you're a corporation and your shareholders want to donate $500,000 to Kurt Nelson,
Who's running for president?
Who's running for president, and the government says, "Oh, you can't," because the corporation's not a human being.
What does this have to do with speech, though? I mean, is it so? Are the people giving
your
me money so that
giving money to you?
It's like freedom of expression.
It's freedom of expression.
Okay, I can see that. Like,
all right, so a business has a right
to give the money to whoever they want.
They do.
So, and pardon my ignorance, so is there a thing right now where the government
some people don't want big corporations or people with a lot of money to give a lot of money to candidates who they don't agree with?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, but I think free speech and campaign finance are kind of interconnected. In my opinion, I think that anyone who has a business or a corporation or whatever should be able to fund the candidate that they want to fund.
Well, I think it's also in the best interest of the established Republican and Democratic parties to actually be on board with having limits on how much an individual can give, because then they have so many donors and sponsors that they generate millions and millions of dollars. And so an independent candidate who doesn't have access to that many people, they may have a supporter that wants to throw them $1 million, but they're unable to do it. So it keeps the little guy out of the race altogether.
There is that. However, I don't believe in legislating what people can do with their own money.
I would have to agree with they're the only thing that
I just don't like legislation telling you what you can't do.
The only thing I think here is it doesn't seem to me that speech has much to do with it. Expression, I get where you're coming from. Expression seems to be a better explanation of that to me, but that's why I was misunderstood.
Yeah, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want with your own money.
Totally agree.
A company, even if they have shareholders or stockholders or a chairman of the board or whatever, or chair people, whatever the fucking word.
You know what? Where the rule there, and it shouldn't be a legislation, but the rule there would be whether or not somebody can accept that money in their position.
Right. Well, so maybe.
I can give you this money. I can hand it to you.
Right.
But you can say respectfully, I can't take that money.
But here's the problem, and this is where it gets shady. Like libertarians, right? Libertarians were not allowed to. They have like this thing where they're like, "Hey, I'm running for office. I cannot take money from big businesses."
I remember when we were interviewing a lot of the candidates.
Right. They didn't want to take money from like unions or businesses because they thought that if they did take that money, they would owe that establishment some sort of favor. Or
that's how it could look, yeah.
And that was just here in Washington State.
It's just
as
in
far
Washington
as my
State.
understanding,
That is
and
correct.
that was just last year.
That is correct. So, yeah. So if you had like a business or if you're running a business or whatever, libertarians in this state didn't want to take the money from the business. They'll take it from a person.
But there's still a limit on how much one individual can give.
But I don't think there should be.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying how it is now. There is a limit right now. Again, and then I think what people are afraid of. So let's just say you have General Motors and they give $2 million to a candidate who gets elected, and then all of a sudden they get these huge tax breaks.
Right.
Well, see, I'm not even for the tax system to begin with. So
But that's
it's
all right.
not-
But
it's-
we
it's-
have the tax system right
I know,
now.
I know we have it. It's just I don't like the whole idea.
No, but that's a very real situation.
That's a
what she's
real
saying.
situation.
That happens all the time.
I don't think there should be a tax break for that.
No, there definitely shouldn't. But the company should still be able to give, or whoever should be able to
There
give.
should not be a tax break though associated with it.
No, of course not. Well, that's not what she's saying. She's saying that the company ends up with some absurd tax break
Or some sort
that's
of
a-
favor.
That's a backdoor thing.
Oh, sure.
Because they grease the palm of this politician.
But that's the politician's honor at stake there.
Right.
So it shouldn't fall into the hands of the corporation for giving money to the individual. If the politician's fucked up and he's doing backdoor deals, he's the fucking crook, not the goddamn corporation.
Well,
for
but
paying
it's,
him
but
money.
it's a deal between them.
It doesn't matter. He's the one who's making legislation.
The whole reason for campaign reform and limiting the amount of dollars that a person or corporation can give was to try to combat crony capitalism.
Well, how can you combat crony capitalism with more legislation through more government interference?
They're trying.
But no, but
it's not the right way
but
to
it's
do it.
government involved to check government.
Right.
But supposedly,
doesn't make any sense.
it's supposedly what the people wanted, and those representatives are supposed to be representing the people. That is the idea of our government.
Sure, and yes.
So if the people want that legislation, isn't it valid?
Well, and I would argue that, like, show me some statistics that prove that the people really do want that, and
Right.
who are quote unquote the people. you
Right,
know?
right. But here's the thing, though. Like, we can't silence a business or a corporation or a person from donating money to somebody. We can't.
No.
We can't tell somebody, you can't put money in his pocket.
Yep, a gift is a gift.
A gift is a gift. You can't tell somebody not to do it. But at the same time, if they act on that, then they're wrong.
Yeah, it's the politician
You-
that's in the wrong there.
Right.
They're both in the wrong for striking that deal.
Right. They
but
are.
the fault falls to the politician.
Right. I agree. I think it ultimately falls on him because he is a public servant.
Right.
Whereas the corporation is just a voice of a select group of people. Yeah. Initially, when I first heard this, I'm like, campaign finance reform is great. We need
Right,
to cap
right,
it off.
right.
It's bad. But then you
Like,
can't
wait a
fight.
minute, how are we capping that off? Yeah.
But you can't fight bad legislation with even worse legislation.
That's what we've been doing for several hundred years.
Doesn't make any sense. Here's this Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction, the Northwest only rock and roll libertarian radio show. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Kurt Nelson,
Fucking A, check our show out.
and the voice of reason, the beautiful Heather Nixon.
Hey, thanks for checking our show out, because you must be listening right now if you hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I just want to say this, Johnny Rocket. If you enjoy our program, help us make our show bigger. If you enjoyed the show, I want you to do 3 things. Donate, go to JohnnyRocketLaunchpad.com. Click on the upper right-hand corner of the main screen. Click donate, use your PayPal or Visa. Donate $25, $75, $100, but it will help us inform thousands of people. 2, after you're done donating to the show, go to facebook.com/JR Launchpad. Give us a like. And 3, go to iTunes, type in Johnny Rocket and subscribe. And please feel free to give us a review. Awesome show. We had Marc Clair from Lines of Liberty.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. Kurt, love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Heather, love you too, baby.
I love you too.
And we're going to be off like a prom dress next week.